Hello, lovely internet people, friends, persons. So, I'm here again to rant and ramble because I just kind of do this. Really, I do this less as a marketing campaign tool, although a lot of ads that I see, anyways, with the content that I watch on YouTube are talking heads. So, I hope to be a little bit different from that because I'm not trying to sell stuff. And I'm trying to just be honest and be myself. I just realized that as I came on. But really, I like to do this just because it gives me a chance to ramble and to go on and talk about things. And, um, I've been giving some thought to self-help. I don't know if any of you have watched Simon Sinek. He has got some of the greatest content I've ever seen on leadership, how to be a leader, how to do the leadership thing. Simon Sinek is one of my favorite speakers. And he has some brilliant thoughts about game theory, what game are you playing, that sort of thing. But what's something that he said in one of the talks I listened to recently really hit me hard. And that has to do with self-help. What good is self-help if you're just helping yourself? It's bunk. There's no point in it. We have hundreds of thousands, I'm sure, of books by this point of how to help yourself, how to fix yourself, how to do this. I mean, heck, that's what I'm doing, is trying to help people become confident in themselves and trying to help people become authentic. It's a form of self-help because a lot of people, be it because of religion or societal expectations or family things or just personal belief systems, can't be authentic. But there's no point in me doing that if there's not a bigger picture. And I feel like I've kind of lost track of the bigger picture this last month. Hey, why? I hope you're doing well in New York. I may need to talk to you about those kitties. Anyhow, so like this whole thing of authenticity and self-help, it's a great thing to be confident people, but what you're going to do if you don't have a bigger outlook is you're going to become a confident asshole. And that's something that I dearly want to avoid doing. And just a few minutes ago, I shared a picture, like this meme about like the world is full of hatred and rage and us versus them and this and that, and someone's just retreating to sci-fi, right? You've got everything from Doctor Who to Steven Universe and whatnot, all these really wholesome things. And what I want to do is I want to help as many people as humanly possible turn this world that we live in, which is pretty much crap, the way that most people treat each other right now, especially mainstream media and what you see everywhere. I want to kind of turn it into a place that holds on to those positive things that Steven Universe gives us, that Doctor Who gives us. And what really surprises me as I sat back and thought about it is all of these shows that I love are full of the exact same thing, right? Doctor Who is set in a universe full of hatred and xenophobia and us versus them and corporate people using, individuals as, just basically, here, we're going to, work until you die, and then thank you very much, we're going to replace you. Adds up in 2 days. It's in the same setting, but the difference is, you've got this guy called the Doctor who walks around and changes people's lives. How does he do that? It's not because he travels through time. It's not because he has a sonic screwdriver. This is my invisible sonic screwdriver. It's because he is so positive and he believes in other people. And so kind of the reason I'm also posting this is to remind myself and to make myself accountable to anyone who watches this in the future. I want to help people change and become more confident in themselves so they can do the same for others, so that they can be confident in the good things that they believe, right? The world is full of schools where bullies beat up on little kids, and there are dozens of other children watching it happen. What would happen if all those dozens of other children all stepped in and said, hey, stop. That bully would quit just because of the law of numbers. You can't take on 12 other kids, or 24. What if we lived in a world where instead of someone making racist slurs and everyone else just going, oh, that was uncomfortable, I'm just going to walk by. What if we lived in a world where people automatically stood up and said, hey, that is not okay, that is not acceptable, that person has every bit as right to human dignity as you person do. In fact, possibly more. Okay, maybe that's taking it too far, but that's the world that I envision, and that's the world that I want to bring around. And it's been crazy how much like dance has has helped me become confident in myself. And that's just one of the many ways that people do it. I've talked with artists. I've seen dancers. I've seen musicians. I was a musician. I was a vocalist. I could sing in front of 2,000 people because I was confident in singing. But man, you asked me to talk, and you've taken away the music that I used to hide behind. Like, I can go sing an opera or whatever, but like, ask me to say 10 words on stage, and I'm like, oh, no, can't do it. But you've got a performance degree, can't do it. I'm not confident. And I realized that it took someone believing in me to help me believe that I could speak too. It took someone to believe in me to help me sing. It took someone believing in me at the dance studio and actually saying, dude, you can actually do this. It took many of the teachers just forcing me to go out and dance. When I'm like, no, I'm no good. They're like, too bad, here you go. And as terrifying as that was, it was also some of the most amazing things that have ever happened to me. So I mean, that's kind of something that was my revelation for the day, so to speak, is self-help is kind of bunk unless you're doing it for other people. Another thing that I've really been working through and struggling through, like struggle busing hard, you could even fail boat horn, is burnout. I was working at a place where I just kind of felt somewhat disposable, deliberately disposable actually, and it didn't do anything for me. And I was going through some burnout there, and then I'm like, I'm going to take a week off and work on my business, and burnout doing that, and I'm like, wait, but I'm doing something I love. How can I be going through burnout right now? And some of that had to, really I just have been forced to step back and recognize that it's okay to go through burnout. Drew and Matthew. Hi, Drew. I know you've been here forever. My eyes just finally focused. I've already done my rant on random sci-fi stuff. Maybe I'll recap. Probably won't. This video will be posted, though. But I'm talking about burnout and just how it sucks, but at the same time, it's a part of life. And it's so much a part of life that I think a lot of people go through it and we don't talk about it, right? We just kind of put it under depression or anxiety, and it's just kind of swept under the rug, right? Oh, well, you're a purpose-driven person. You're so positive. How could you go through burnout? I don't know, but it's happening. So like I've decided to try and create a space for people like in the Cleveland area, specifically East Cleveland, because it's like a 40-minute drive to get to the other side of town. So I'm going to focus on East Cleveland. Someone in West Cleveland, I think it would be brilliant to do this, though, and just create a space where people can be burned out and just be okay with it. Get together, have coffee, talk about it. And I think something really cool could come out of it. I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever been in a crappy situation and just felt absolutely down, there's no way to do it. But if you get together with a group of friends and you explain what's going on, right? You share, here's my roadblock, here's why I can't do it. I have no clue how this is going to happen. I'm done. I'm burnt out. I'm done. Next venture, time to go. It's incredible how many people will just step in and help. They'll either fix this roadblock and say, oh, well, I've got this, gone. Or this impossible thing. I have heard so many stories of people just coming in out of the blue saying, hey, you mentioned that you have this problem, or I have a friend, they have this thing, removing impossible roadblocks. And I really want to facilitate that. And I really want to encourage anyone who watches this, go do it. If you know someone who's been burned out, or if you've gone through burnout, or if you're going through burnout, why should we make this a quiet thing? Why should we just kind of sit there quietly and just kind of take it like a stoic? Why not get some community involved? Why not take this hurt that we're experiencing, open it up and be a little vulnerable to the world, right? That's kind of scary, but think about it. If you open that up and you become vulnerable, other people are going to recognize that and come in and say, hey, I'm going through the same thing. And you can build a support system, and not just a crappy self-help support system like, I feel better, but like an actual self-help group that's helping each other, right? All back to the whole thing, the idea of self-help being bunk is it doesn't do any good if it's just the you, right? Like, I could totally go find a burnout group and try and squeeze myself into it and feel better. I see names. I see Christina and Jennifer. That's all my phone shows me. Hi, I'm getting better at seeing people popping onto my screen. Yay. But, if I just went into a self-help group just for me, I can guarantee, even if it's the most wonderful group, it's going to be a horrific experience. I'm not going to get anything. I'm just going to drain other people. And so the idea that I had is, why not start my own to help others, right? To facilitate this. And I want to encourage you, if you're going through burnout, try it. Find some friends who are doing it, even if it's just a thing online. I personally hate online meetings, but hey, that's the only way you can meet someone in London or on the other side of the States if you don't want to fly and pay money. I don't know. I'm doing that, and I'm posting this video just to kind of keep me accountable and to do it. Other people, Jennifer, Christina, people who came on earlier, I kind of talked about, sci-fi or fiction and like the world that we're living in. And just to recap, because I love the idea, those worlds that they live in are just as crappy as ours, right? X-Men, crappy world, really crappy. Doctor Who, lots of shit going on in that universe, really negative stuff. And what makes them different is the X-Men band together and help each other. Yeah, sure, there's violence, it's fun, there's explosions, whatever. But really, at the core of it, why we love it is because outcasts are coming together and supporting each other to become more than they've ever imagined they could be. The reason we love the Doctor is not because he has a noisy screwdriver and he travels through time. That's cool, that's great. It's not because every person that they've gotten to do the Doctor is freaking gorgeous. That's also a plus if you watch the show. It's because they just embrace themselves. They're like, hey, I'm a positive person. Or in the case of the 12th Doctor, I'm a grumpy son of a gun. But he still acts on what he believes in, and he shares that with other people. Last little bit before I sign off and let you all back to your day, was I was watching through the first David Tennant season, even Christopher Eccleston, right? The very first updated season of Doctor Who. Watch through it and watch how many times he takes a person who is being pushed down, especially women. It's like a lot of women. I love it for that. Like a whole new level of love for recognizing that. But every time he comes in, he takes someone who is pushed down, a creative person, a person who operates out of love, who has a lot of beliefs, and he pulls them up simply by believing in them. So go be that person who believes in someone else. Go pull someone else up. I can guarantee, based on my own experience, it's going to do you a world of good. You're going to feel better. Don't do it just for that reason, though. Do it to change your world. If you don't want to listen to the hate, if you are tired of the misogyny, the bigotry, all that negative stuff, go change your world. Be the reason that it's going to change. And as you change and other people see you doing that, they're going to come in line with you. And then before you know it, it'll expand. It might just be your little town in Ohio or wherever you happen to be. Or it could be a whole lot bigger. So thank you for joining in and watching. I wish you all the best, and I'm going to attempt to hit the end button the first time this time. Let's see if it works. Yeah, right?